Things with Liverpool, a sense in the air down by the sea that they have a chance. Liverpool get us underway. A touch straight away for the Czech Vítězslav Jaroš. Had 4 loans away from the club, on loan at Sturm Graz last season, 1 substitute appearance in the Premier League, and his opposite number, Jason Steele, more of a hardy perennial at Brighton. His 7th year with them, but it was already announced by Hutzler that he would start in place of Bart Verbruggen tonight. Here's Lamptey. So much pace and hustle. Now Gruder. Here's Enciso, the former winner of the Paraguayan Cup 5 years ago with Libertad.
Well, he just might have a free role, Enciso. He's going to play in behind Ferguson, but already we've seen him get on the ball 2 or 3 times. A very lively player.
17th League Cup appearance, by the way, tonight for Joe Gomez. Moves ahead of Quivin Kelleher. And that number for Liverpool, who sits on the bench with Jaroš starting. It's a slight niggle there early on for Curtis Jones. Not ideal in the opening minute of a game. On a cold night as well.
Well, Jaroš took a real chance there. So did Gomez.
But this is the upside of it. Liverpool creating space, doing so intelligently here. Robertson was climbing. Now Gakpo does well to keep a hold of that.
Does look as though Liverpool, Dave, are playing with 2 holding midfield players, Morton and Endo. They're going to be that little bit deeper.
Good start from Bradley. Doubts about his participation. He's been struggling with an injury. Arne Slot, in his news coverage yesterday, said he might be on the bench.
Well, again, I saw him pre-season in America. He was absolutely outstanding at right back. There was talk that he might displace Alexander-Arnold in the side. That hasn't been the case so far this season. The player that has struggled has been Endo under Arne Slot.
Rather like Jason Steele for Brighton. Endo was announced at the news coverage yesterday as pretty much a certain starter, as see a fair bit of talent sitting on that Liverpool bench. Messrs Salah and Nunez.
World Cup winner in McAllister.
Of course. Former Brighton player in McAllister as well. Dear me, Steele similarly taking a risk. Now that was down to a poor first touch rather than a bit of confidence, I think, but he recovered well and has to again. Twice closed down. Got to learn your lesson there. Goodness me. That could have got anywhere, Stuart.
He's had a couple of really bad moments here. Takes far too long on the ball. Nearly has it intercepted. He gets lucky.
There's Van Hecker. Now Igor, former Coppa Italia runner-up with Fiorentina. The ultimate knocking on the door team, Fiorentina, playing well in Serie A at the moment, his old club. Now Liverpool close to overplaying.
How many goals have you seen scored over the last couple of years where players have tried to play out from the back, or teams have tried to play out from the back and they've made mistakes?
And Enciso gets it out from under his feet. Touch was a heavy one from Vifa. Diaz thought he was being fouled, and in the end, The referee agrees. Kadiolu, I think that's good refereeing from Darren Bond, tried to let it develop and then pulled it back.
Yeah, Diaz is playing out on the right-hand side. They're not actually playing with a centre-forward at the moment. Szoboszlai and Jones are trying to make runs from deep in midfield. Gakpo's going to play on the left-hand side and Diaz on the right-hand side.
Gakpo does well to recover his feet there. Referee got in his way. Flags up. Over on that far side against Diaz.
Yeah, that's going to be a good battle. Diaz up against the left-back, Kadiolu. Important game, really, for Gakpo. Just caught there, Szoboszlai. He's playing slightly further forward today. Oh, it's a nasty one as well, right on the shin.
Yeah, Ferguson studs a touch high there. And Steele under pressure again. Szoboszlai closing him down a third time. He has to learn his lesson here. This time he takes it first time and, yeah, ends up okay, but a few Brighton fans would have had hearts in mouths there, and they've given it away again, and this time Steele can come and get it. They've got to sort this out. Here's Lamptey to take them the other way. Liverpool's turn to give it away, but Endo was clipped by Enciso, and it's a Liverpool free kick. But analyse that for us, Stuart Robson.
Well, the goalkeeper, Steelers, looked very shaky. Then Van Hecke gives it away. It's fortunate the ball was just slightly overplayed, but he looks very nervous at the moment still. I think the crowd are nervous as well, what he was trying to do. Then I'm not sure he knew where he was playing that. He was just getting away from the immediate danger. He might be advised just to hit one or two balls first time as it comes back to him, and a bit longer.
Yeah, it is still okay to put the laces through one or two. Not many of them have laces anymore.
I was talking before the game about Brighton playing a very high line. That's not been the case in the game so far. Maybe Herzl has noticed that on a couple of occasions they've been exposed, so he's playing a much deeper line at the moment.
Brighton again, nearly caught in possession. This time Moder, the pivot player in midfield. 9 of his last 10 appearances have been for Poland. Jakub Moder hasn't been part of Brighton at all, really. The only other appearance was the EFL Cup game against Wolves. Starting here against Liverpool. It's a night so far to test the touch of both goalkeepers. Wide from Vifa. There's Kadiolu. Picked up by Gakpo now. It's an entertainingly scrappy opening, this.
And played at a high tempo as well. Both sides trying to win the ball back quickly. On this occasion, Brighton have got everybody back behind the ball.
Now Tyler Morton. Zipped forward by Tyler Morton. Lamptey recovering well.
That forward run you saw from the Liverpool player, making his run right through the middle, was the right back, Conor Bradley. Norton almost found him with a very good pass. Shows the positional rotation that Liverpool do have at times.
Yeah, it's really smart, isn't it? Robertson almost tucks in as a third centre-half and allows them to spread the play. Of course, he likes to be a buccaneering runner himself, Robertson.
One or two problems at the weekend, didn't he, against Saka in that game against Arsenal defensively.
Cleverly floated forward, though, here towards Gakpo, who's just offside.
Run from outside to in, but he is offside, quite clearly. Nice ball played by Robertson, but Gakpo just bent his run a fraction too early. Versatile player, can play anywhere along the front line. Gakpo, at the moment, being preferred out on the left-hand side.
Scored in his first 4 League Cup appearances for Liverpool. Cody Gakpo took a real liking to this competition and scored 2 in the last round against West Ham. Jan-Paul van Hecke. Gruder. Igor. And Lamptey. Always love reading stories around games like this. Brighton fans of a certain age still talk about a great defensive display at Anfield, led by one John Crumplin, as Brighton try and turn this into attack. Oh, Lamptey's in! Good stop. Quickly off his line, Jarosz, and Liverpool will look to counter. Cody Gakpo. He wants to cut inside and curl in action at either end, but it remains goalless.
Well, we talked about the right-back, Conor Bradley, making runs for Liverpool. That time it was Lamptey racing through the middle for Brighton. See, he's onside when the ball's played. It's a good ball over the top. 2 centre-halves are too high up the field. The full-back, Robertson, kept everybody onside. But once he gets there, Lamptey's just got to lift it over the goalkeeper. Yes, it's a good save from Jarosz with that trailing arm, but that was a big chance for Lamptey.
His last goal was November 2022 in this competition against Arsenal. It's a big, big opportunity to add another there.
The 2 centre-halves for Liverpool got that all wrong. Player had time on the ball at the back for Brighton. They're trying to squeeze the play. It was an easy run in behind them. Robertson wasn't in tune with the 2 centre-backs. And was that 2 or 3 yards deeper?
My all-eye yesterday story about John Crumplin was very nearly interrupted by a Brighton goal. Of all things, here's Enciso. Lamptey. The point I'm making is there's just a lovely folklore that grows up around nights like that and stories like that. Sort of I was there moments. All part of the fabric of these cup competitions, of every competition. Brighton trying to write some new stories here. Enciso just got caught underneath it a bit.
It was good play by Ferguson to start with. The fingers look good when he's come in on his right foot. And Enciso goes past the first challenge of Endo, which wasn't a particularly good one. but just rushed his shot. Here's Conor Bradley, who, since coming into the team, I think has been a really good player for Liverpool.
Yeah, richly talented Northern Irishman, and one of those players that Jurgen Klopp used to talk about when he was in the youth teams at Liverpool, always very, very highly thought of. Here's Lamptey. Trying to bend it into that awkward area, but a bit too close to Jarosz, who started very confidently. Yes, with the footwork, was maybe a bit too confident, but made a good save already and good handling too. A 23-year-old from the Czech Republic, and I mentioned 4 loans away. Liverpool don't keep hold of players like that if they don't rate them. Go out and loan to get the experience, but we still want you.
There's a good example of the 2 players that are in the centre-forward positions at the moment, are 2 midfield players, Jones and Soboslai. Then the next 2 midfield players are the ones pressing.
Brighton able to play through that. And the rest. Need to be careful with those challenges. Home fans wanted something there. It was Simon Adingra cutting in.
Didn't make the most of the situation in the end, but that was far too easy for Brighton to play around the pressure and find lots of space going forward. It's interesting to see that Endo was really struggling to get back once he had tried to press the ball.
He was starting to tread water a bit. Robertson. Gruder. The arrival from Mainz this season. Under-21 international for Germany. A really interesting and normally pretty effective recruitment process. Brighton and Hove Albion. Because Liverpool's recruitment over the summer was heavily criticised, or lack of it. Here's Szoboszlai. Now Cody Gakpo. He has options there. One of them was Diaz. Now Bradley. Here the visiting fans for the first time.
Well, Diaz can't have been far away from that cross by Gakpo. He was shown the outside, he took it and just crossed it into a good area. And Diaz got across the front of his defender. Just looks as though it's a fraction too high for him in the end.
Great noise they're making. Liverpool fans trying to lift their players, and the home fans responding. Gomez. Big night for a player like Jarell Quansah after a performance against Ipswich right at the start of the Premier League season. Now Gakpo looks to shape it again. Gakpo this time was trying to pick out Luis Diaz's run. Endo. just behind Bradley. Here's Gakpo, just ran into Lamptey. Lamptey was looking for a free kick.
It's actually good defending by Lamptey. He stepped forward just at the right time, and Gakpo then couldn't move the ball either side of him.
Seen plenty of the ball, isn't he, Gakpo?
Well, the runs that Robertson is making, which is sometimes through the inside left position, takes away the wide player, so it's easy to get the ball out to Gakpo.
Robertson advancing a little bit further forward, trying to pick out the run of Bradley at the far post. Did really well, Gruder, really smart play there. And then he wins the free kick. Szoboszlai fell for that.
Well, one of the things I was going to say about Gruder not so long ago, that it doesn't look as though he's going to run past anybody. Looks as though he's a good manipulator of the ball. He'll come inside on his left foot, but that time he did run Szoboszlai. Got a bit lucky there, he fell almost into the ball. And there's that burst of pace, which I didn't think he had.
The minute Szoboszlai puts his arm across like that, he's running that risk. Could argue the referee could have let it go, but don't make the challenge then. Goalless but lively. One excellent save by Vítězslav Jaroš to deny Tariq Lamptey. Well, the Lamptey will feel he should have scored. Normally plenty of goals around, and Liverpool are playing in this competition. 67 in the last 19 in the League Cup.
That finish from Lamptey was one made by a player that, as you said, doesn't score that many goals. And he was just happy to hit the target without really trying to deceive the goalkeeper or bend it round him.
Well, that's why, as we say always, those that see that finish, those who can execute, are the ones who get the big money. Because it is what wins you games. It grabs hold of moments like that. Looks easy, but it isn't. Here's Endo.
Brighton with everybody behind the ball. They're going to have to show some creativity here, Liverpool, to break them down in these sort of situations.
Diaz made a good run in behind there. He's trying to stretch them and make them think and get in behind his Szoboszlai. Now Gakpo. See that Brighton shape very clearly. Very well organised under Huertzler. And looking to seize on any heavy touch like that. Kadiolu going to apply the pressure.
Yeah, that was the left back coming out of his position to go and press the ball in midfield, then going and pressing Quansah. He knew that Adringa was back in the left back position.
I know he ends up committing the foul there, Kadiolu, but I quite like the combativity of that moment.
And so did the crowd as well. Just lifts the crowd. Can play in several different positions. At the weekend he played on the right hand side, of midfield. Today he's playing at left back.
Here's Soboslai. Robertson with a first-time cross. There's a Dingra to clear it away, and across comes Quansah. Going back to Jarell Quansah, how hard is it as a young player with a performance like that when he was taken off against Ipswich to come back from that? It's only really his second game back for Liverpool in the EFL Cup.
Had it been under Jurgen Klopp, it wouldn't have been such a problem, but this is a new manager, so he wants to prove himself to a new manager. The new manager takes him off after 45 minutes. It doesn't augur well, does it? And the manager's reason for taking him off was that he lost all the 50-50 challenges, so they needed a centre-half who could go and win the aerial battles in that game against Ipswich.
Yeah, it wasn't just the action, it was the reasoning afterwards. There's something almost cold about it, but Schlott trying to make his mark, as indeed is Hürzeler. And with Jonas Scheuermann, youngest permanent manager in Premier League history.
He did a wonderful job, didn't he, at San Pauli?
Just feeling his toes, aren't they, to see if anything's broken there.
German coaches are a little bit in vogue at the moment.
They are indeed, and of course St. Pauli, the ultimate hipster club.
Former Dutch international. Third along there.
John Heitinger in conversation with Arne Schlott. Very earnest, doubtless very technical Dutch footballing conversation there. Now we're seeing a lot more of this. The camera gets behind and looks over the shoulder. Not sure I'd love that if I was them. I thought that the other day when I was watching on, but I suppose it's not being transmitted to the opposition, is it? Be funny if it was just a load of scribbles, practicing his signature.
Doing his shopping list for tomorrow. I think he's just highlighting the runners of the opposition, the shape of the opposition, and how his players match up against that, where the space might be.
Don't think he got many of his shopping list, did he, Schlott, in the previous transfer window? Federico Chiesa arriving and struggling with injury. Brighton got away with one there. Again, struggling as they try to play.
He's been quite tigerish in the tackle, Morton. He's made a couple of runs from quite deep to go and close the ball down. That time on Vifa.
Here's Quansah. Now Robertson.
We've seen some quite good action, but apart from that Lamptey chance, we haven't had any big moments.
Here's Lamptey again. Yeah, I agree with you. It's been sort of lively, but relatively chanceless. Lamptey to pull that right across goal. And driven by Enciso, but not on target.
Well, I'd like to see this from behind the goal, because the goalkeeper, Jarosz, looks as though he's going the other way here. He was going the other way, it bent in the air, but not that much. Don't think you could see it as it goes past Quance. It starts to go one way and the ball's going the other way. He got very lucky, the goalkeeper. Good effort from Enciso.
It was a lot closer than it looked initially. It would have been a very curious goal. The old adage was never play a back pass between the posts, but it's gone out of the window here so far. Makes me feel nervous.
It almost seems like a badge of honour at times that both teams want to take some real risk, trying to play out from the back through their goalkeeper.
I'd say two coaches here who had difficult jobs to take on at the start of this campaign, and both have done really well. Slot obviously has Liverpool in really good form. Hertzler likewise with Brighton, and they've really taken in this lovely community in Brighton to their hearts already. I noticed a local pizza company has already created a Hertzler pizza. As he said, he was missing the ingredients from home, so it's a pizza with German ingredients. Not one I'll be ordering, but it was nice of them to do it. Here goes Luis Diaz. Now Gakpo for Szoboszlai. This is better. Robertson to roll it across. Szoboszlai looked for the finish, and then Diaz heads wide. First big chance for Liverpool.
Two big chances in one there. Good play through midfield. Gakpo, I think, was trying to take that himself, just onside when Robertson plays the ball back. There's the first one. The second one, maybe the easier of the two. Szoboszlai just hits the target. That's all he's looking to do here. Probably should be aiming for one of the corners. And when it comes back to Diaz, doesn't quite get his head round it. May be more difficult as you see it again.
Yeah, if Szoboszlai was full of confidence when he was sort of peak Szoboszlai, maybe prior to Liverpool, I think he would have been trying to pick out a corner there. Last domestic Liverpool goal was back in January. One of those curiosities of the draw and the fixture list, that these two will go at it again with different teams. And Anfield at the weekend. Funny when that happens, isn't it? How much does one game affect the other, even with team changes? Nicked away by Enciso. Gruder. They've worked this really nicely. Gruder's got lovely quick feet. There's Vifa. Vifa's effort was blocked. And then foul by Gruder.
I have to say, in the end, good defending by Liverpool. Every time they looked as though they were going to pull the trigger, Brighton players, Liverpool had defenders around the ball, closing it down. Very good defending in numbers, but also keen to shut the ball down quickly. As he comes in field here, one went, the second one went. Again, one play. It's good play by Gruder. He beats the first challenge, but there was always enough numbers for Liverpool around the ball.
See that red blanket just smothering them. That's overhit the ball for Luis Diaz, but he appreciates the intent. Real flyer down that right-hand side for Liverpool. 10 to go until half-time. Still goalless. Place in the quarter-finals of the League Cup up for grabs here. Brighton looking for their second ever League Cup quarter-final. Liverpool their 26th. Feels 50-50 at the moment, this. Brighton have had the best chance. That's the man player, yeah. Lamptey.
You called him right at the beginning of the game a fly. He certainly is that. I haven't seen him make too many runs from outside to in, but he did on that occasion. Big chance on his weaker left foot, but one he should have taken, or certainly made a better effort of it.
Not too many would beat him over 100 metres. Here he goes again. Now Enciso. Free kick for Brighton. Jones thinks he won the ball. Has a little look to the heavens and then gets on with his job.
There was a player that used to play for Liverpool that was an expert at making these challenges. Peter Beardsley used to slide in, wrap his foot round the ball and then run off the other way. And that's exactly what Jones was looking to do. But does he make contact with Enciso first? That's the question the referee had to ask himself, and he thought he did.
Enciso is lining this up. Gruder's there as well. Enciso is shaping like a man who's going to hit this. He does have real power. They've maybe seen that Jaros looks a bit shaky. Can he get it moving? In the end, it's floated by Gruder. Adingra got free, header back across, Jaros flapped. Flag was up.
Must have made his run a fraction too early here. Yeah, he did. You can see right across the line. Should never be offside there, really.
Yeah, fraction's kind. It was a bit more than a fraction in the end. He went far too early, didn't he? Just wonder if they missed a trick there after Jaros struggled with the swerve of that Enciso shot. Might have tried to test him again. He'd still be feeling a bit nervous about that.
Just had his hand trodden on, I think, there, Gruder. Always painful.
Gomez. Is Endo. Now Szoboszlai with a bit of space in which to run. Gakpo. Robertson running ahead of him. Beautifully done. Steele sticks out a right boot to deny him. But that was excellent play from Liverpool.
Started by Endo, pokes the ball through for Szoboszlai. The timing of the run here is good, so is the weight of the pass. And he tries to go in at the near post. Steele does well with his right foot, because it was certainly going in. He was almost beaten there, wasn't he? You always say the goalkeeper should be going with his hand, but he just got his foot there in time.
In from Szoboszlai. Get another chance from the other side. I think Robertson's going to go across and take this one.
No Van Dijk, of course. He's the usual target for these balls played in. Scored the goal against Arsenal at the weekend. Quanta is good in the air, so is Gakpo.
Deep in swinger. Got a Brighton head. I think it was Vifa. Final 5 minutes of a surprisingly goalless first half.
It certainly hasn't been short of endeavour and pace, and in some places some quality as well.
There's Morton. Now Soboslai. Doesn't do too much wrong, Bradley.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to take that on the half volley into the space behind the defender. It's always going to be a difficult first touch to manage that from a ball that was coming from that far away.
There's Endo. Now Robertson. Nicely drifted forward that by Quansah. Bradley had made the run.
That was that run I was talking about earlier on, that run from right back, almost through the centre-forward position by Bradley. Robertson's done it on this side on 2 or 3 occasions as well.
And we saw Lamptey doing it nearly to best effect. Just a reminder that it would not go to extra time. That is saved until the semi-final, and of course, as Liverpool know from last season, the final, it would go straight to penalties, which seems to make a lot of sense. It's a miscue from Enciso. Gruder. That touch was never on, was it, for Van Hekke? Now Brian Gruder. Little look up, waiting for support there. He wins the corner.
Just tried to play it between the legs of Robertson. Dragged it one way and then tried to use the outside of his boot to take it through Robertson. Robertson just about did enough. Van Hekke will be one of the targets. FIFA is also a tall player in there.
It was aimed towards Simon Adingra. He leaves the throw here for Kadiolu. Can't believe there's going to be too much time added on at the end of this first half.
Just had that one injury, didn't we, to this player here. Seems to be okay now.
And the home fans appreciate the endeavour and appreciate the corner. Might just be Brighton's last attack of this first half.
Combination of zonal marking and man marking, but mostly zonal.
Well, you can clearly see what he's saying. Put it back. Referee had to run all the way over to tell him.
I think it was the Liverpool fans behind the goal that were telling him.
Adingra this time meets it. You can see the intention. Looking to float it back across. Now he wishes he'd just put his foot through it.
Or he could even run at it and head it. Ball was in the air a long time. Twice they had a player at the back post, the same player from the set play.
Jonas Scheumann and Andrew Crofts with Fabian Hürzeler. Will Slot be happy, do you think, with what he's seen so far?
To a certain degree. I think he'd be happy with them defensively, apart from the one chance that Lamptey had, but they haven't created enough going forward. He's tried to change one or two things with the team shape in the front areas. Playing with two wide players who are high and two midfield players making forward runs through the centre forward area. Good movement from the fullbacks. But at the moment, haven't really created enough chances.
Yeah, game of much endeavour, but of few chances. Luis Diaz had... Anyway, that's for the future. Brighton with one fairly simple change. Get us back underway. It is just Estupinian down that left-hand side for Kadiolu.
Yeah, that foot injury that he got in the first half must have been worse than we first thought. Hasn't come out for the second half. Estupinian, who loves to go in field, as he's doing now, to join in with his central midfield players and start attacks.
The Europa League winner with Villarreal. Parvis Estupinian. And from Ecuador. Brighton on the back foot. Straight away here, great hit! What a strike! Cody Gakpo, who is the man for this competition and who sparks Liverpool right at the start of the second half. That is a screamer.
Well, he had a warm-up in the first half with one. There's the ball played forward. Morton does well and just plays it in behind the fullback. And Gakpo does the rest, just chops it onto his right foot, and look at that for a finish. Does he put bend on it? No, he just hits straight through the back of the ball. No stopping that from Steele. That's a brilliant goal. Robertson helps him with the overlapping run. And that's a top-class strike.
Nailed it. And how cool was the celebration? Just stood still. Touch of Zlatan about that celebration. Look at what I just did. 38 seconds into the second half. It's a nightmare as a coach. You send them out with instructions, with the best intentions. And of course they still have to carry those out, but it all feels a touch less relevant when you've just gone one down. Brighton need to be careful now, need to keep their wits about them here. Looking to respond with Enciso. Wasn't far off, technically perfect, that strike as well. The way he got the ball flighted. Great, pure hit, wasn't it?
It was interesting that Lamptey was out of position. He'd gone further forward for the goalkeeper's kick. And that's where Morton won the ball back and played it straight in behind him. It was one of the midfield players that was tracking Gakpo back.
7th League Cup goal for Cody Gakpo, and one to just quieten down this place. This time tries to play the assist for Bradley. And we might have been critical on one or two occasions of Jason Steele in that first half, but let's be clear, nothing he could do about that. Lev Yashin wasn't saving that. There's a reference for our younger viewers.
I was going to say, you might need to explain that to some of our younger viewers.
Probably the best goalkeeper ever. That's the point. One of, anyway. Here goes Lamptey. Floated in towards that far post. Fabulous save. Yarosh managed to flick out his left hand to deny Adingra. But here come Brighton. What a stop that was. He was going the wrong way and then he managed to stretch back.
Good play by Lamptey down that right-hand side. Going past a couple of players, just lifts it to the far post. What a save that is. His body's going one way. It's a really good header by Adingra. But he gets his left hand on it. His left fingertips. Great save.
Team combining well. Gakpo's goal, Yarosh's wonderful save, and those ones, they seem to almost defy logic as Liverpool have given it away. Big moment for Ferguson, who can't take the chance. Wide open game all of a sudden.
Well, Gakpo loses the ball here. It's good play. Vipa wins the ball back. First touch looked quite big, but it just opens up for him here. Here's the previous chance. Lamptey doing really well. Going past Robertson, plays it into the box. I think Adingra does everything right. Heads it back from where it came from. Didn't quite get it in the corner, but that is a top-class save.
The point I was making about logic defying is he has to twist back so obviously from the direction he was going, and it's drills, isn't it? Hours and hours of drills. Yellow card.
Endo had to get a yellow card for that challenge on Gruda. Just there. He knows he's made a mistake. He thought he could win the ball. Gruda just nicks it away from him. Referee does the right thing.
As you mentioned, just struggling in the squad at the moment. Endo, big chance for him tonight.
Shows you how much pre-season is so important to players. He had a poor pre-season tour of America, didn't quite look fit enough, and on the basis of that he couldn't get into the starting 11 when the season began.
Now Enciso closed down by Diaz. Liverpool know if they score the next goal in this, well, they got 1 foot in their 26th EFL Cup quarter-final. Matches will be played a week before Christmas, and then the semis in January. Liverpool would love to be amongst it again, and at the moment they're going to be. Lamptey again. He's having much to say down that Brighton right. The ball might squirt anywhere here. Nicely done by Enciso to tee it up. Just wide from Gruda. And we know all about his quality on that left foot. Might he have done better here?
Well, it's got a lot of bend on it, but it starts too wide. But again, it was good play by Lamptey, but also good refereeing. He was about to give a free kick, and then he allowed the advantage. And then Enciso set up Gruda. What a start to the second half we've had here.
Yeah, really good stuff. Liverpool grabbing the lead. Brighton so close to an equaliser, but for the save of Yarosh. Adingra. Yeah, Bradley was trying to look innocent, but Darren Bond gives the free kick. Good Brighton pressure here.
Ball played down the side. Well, he does give him a double-handed push. Yeah, it's a foul, no question about it. Conor Bradley.
Seen it 3 or 4 times now. I quite like how well drilled the young Liverpool players are. They say their piece and then turn and move and get back on with the job. What can Enciso do? Nothing. Not there anyway. Adingra. So unlucky not to equalise.
He'll be disappointed because he got himself into a good position, coming round the back while Lamptey's breaking forward down the right-hand side. He gets a good leap in, it's a good connection, he's trying to head it back into the right area. Wasn't right in the corner. Once he headed that, he thought he'd scored.
I suppose if you're being picky in terms of being a top finisher, you'd say in the corner he does score. That would be very picky. Here he is, Adingra. And Moder. Well, that nearly dipped somewhere interesting, and Jarosz turning it over the crossbar.
Well, he was looking for the forward pass rather than the shot. Just overhit it. Everyone gives up on it, but Jarosz took no chances. Haven't really seen that much of Moder in the game so far. Central midfield player who's a hard worker, can pick out a pass as well.
Adds height in these situations too. And he is indeed the target, and he does indeed get up and nearly create something. Liverpool struggling to get it clear. And Van Hecke was the one putting himself about, and then he ends up blocking Gruder's shot.
And in the end, it was a great defensive block, wasn't it, by Van Hecke?
Liverpool trying to get a counter-attack going, but Diaz gives it away. And then wins it back. Jarosz again delaying. Must be the sea air.
Well, what goalkeepers do that outfield players don't always do, they take such a big backlift to get their kick away, and it gives the attacker time just to make that half a yard to get a slide challenge in or get a block in.
Yeah, everything does feel like it's a slow motion replay, doesn't it? The first touch, and then, as you say, the big backlift. It's definitely a night when it's worth closing those down at both ends. Here is Endo. And Gakpo, the goal scorer. Van Hecke. Here's Igor. There was a time when left-sided centre-halves of his sort of class seemed in short supply, but quite a few of them knocking about now. Strangely, the player that seems to be in shorter supply is a finisher at a certain level, that sort of lower Premier League level.
This is what I was talking about. Lamptey was high up the field, so when the ball's played back into that right-back space, it's the midfield player, FIFA, that's going back in there, and he comes inside here, Gakpo, and just bends it into a really good area. What a shot that is. It's actually Murder that ended up at right back. Well, we've seen him play at centre forward in the past. We've seen him play on the right-hand side, one of a number of attacking midfield players, but today he's very much on the left-hand side. He'd have been proud of that shot.
He wouldn't have minded it. 3-2 in the League Cup this season as well for Gakpo.
The great thing about this competition is that some managers will pick slightly different sides, but you know that the players coming into the team have got something to prove, so they're going to play with great intensity, great drive. That's been the case here tonight.
There's so much quality running throughout the squad as well. Great academy system too. I was there at Anfield that night. Liverpool played Derby in the EFL Cup and named a team with a lot of players the fans weren't even that aware of, and they were still terrific. Klopp was so proud that night. Great pride in the final of this competition last season as well. Of course, described it as his greatest achievement, that in many ways. Here's Diaz. You remember, Stuart, coming through as a young player, how important it is that people have confidence in you. Liverpool give it away. More on that in a moment.
Yeah, my second ever game was Arsenal against Liverpool at Anfield in a quarter-final replay. And that's when it was always the best 11 that played every week. And it was a competition that I think Liverpool went on to win that year.
Quite a baptism of fire, that one.
Played it right back against the late, brilliant Ray Kennedy.
Here's Lamptey. Trying to work the angle, big deflection. The shot from Gruder goes behind for a corner. I'd like to know where that initial shot was going.
It takes a couple of deflections. First of all, off Robertson, then the midfield player. Certainly got a good left foot, hasn't he, Gruder?
Really good solid header away, and that's a poor touch. And now Liverpool can break. Diaz nicked it away. Gakpo up here in support. They've got so many options. This for two. And Szoboszlai can't convert. And will Liverpool look back and regret that moment? Massive overload, and they couldn't make it work. It's a good save from Steele. And Liverpool might make them pay now. Appeals for a hand there as Robertson tried to slip that forward. Chance gone, Stuart.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Gakpo made the most of the situation. He's the man that had the chance at the end, Szoboszlai. But when they break here, they win the ball back. It's a very good win. Now 3 versus 1, and he lifts the ball up here. So it takes more time to get his touch, Szoboszlai, and in doing so, still gets that little bit closer to him. Just can't lift it up, and it's the trailing hand once again that makes the save. We saw it at the other end when Lamptey had his chance. But that should have been 2-0, no doubt about it.
Sometimes you can have too many options. And in a strange way, if Diaz nicks that and runs through on his own, he might have scored. But here comes Gakpo again. Can they make the most of it this time? You'd better believe they can. It's Gakpo again. Liverpool surging on the south coast.
Well, he thought about the previous chance where he passed it with the outside of his boot and thought this time that's not going to be the case. I have to see it again, but question the goalkeeper's position, because it was obvious that he was going to try and go in at the near post. Lamptey just took too long to make a decision. Van Hecker backs off and backs off. There's only one place he can hit it, and that's into the near post, and still probably gives him too much. Lamptey was going to let the ball run across him, but he didn't have a chance to do that. And there's a lot of space at that near post, and he takes it. Gakpo, again, hitting through the back of the ball with power. Good finish, but I have to question the goalkeeper's position. And Lamptey just needs to get his body in front of Gakpo there. A couple of bad moments for Lamptey, who's had a good game up until now.
When you see Gakpo in this mood, he looks almost unplayable in that final third. 4 in 2 in the EFL Cup this season.
Interesting to see what sort of reception McAllister gets off the Brighton fans. He was brilliant for Brighton.
Well, we can hear Endo makes way, Morton as well. What a moment for Trey Unyoni. First senior appearance for him. Great moments for these young players. Dream, of course, of getting on the score sheet. Here goes Szoboszlai. Not a bad first touch, that, from Unyoni. Here's Gakpo. Bradley was closing in, Diaz too. And suddenly Liverpool are in the mood, and these feel like very dangerous moments now for Brighton. It could be done and dusted in the next 5 minutes here.
Well, it could be. Nice ball played into the box. Bradley coming round the back. Diaz slices wide, but they're growing in confidence now, Liverpool. Looks as though he's going to play through the middle. There he is, closing the ball down here.
Talked about as the next young Liverpool star. All accounts brilliant in training, and since he's been pushed towards the first team. You know, when they start to talk about you in the papers, you're close, and here he is tonight. Zimbabwe-born Trey Unyoni. Came from the Leicester Academy, and well, here he is. Szoboszlai. It was interesting the way that one counter-attack that failed paved the way for the one that succeeded, as you rightly said. Gakpo was having none of that second time round, but he did the right thing.
I think you said it perfectly. He almost had too many options on the first one, 3 against 1. So he's a bit tentative with what he did. But the second one, Van Hecke made his mind up by backing off and backing off so he could get the shot away.
Bradley was running in behind there. Stupinian did well defensively. Changes coming for Brighton now. Jack Hinshelwood, the 19-year-old, is going to be introduced, and Joel Veltman as well. Hinshelwood's been a regular in the Premier League. See Moda making way. Van Hecke as well.
Saw that Mo Salah was getting ready to come on as well.
Yeah, he is down there. Diaz. Here's Gakpo. Changes like that do always fascinate me. If Mo Salah comes on for the last quarter of the game, but I suppose the thing you must never underestimate is that players love to play. He wouldn't mind coming on and having a League Cup goal. were Jota fit, I suspect Salah might remain on the bench. Chiesa out as well. Harvey Elliott, another who's not available, so takes a bit away, doesn't it?
I have to say, Mo Salah this season looks like a very happy man again, playing football with a smile on his face. He's playing well. He seems to have a great relationship with Arne Slot. Not so sure he always saw eye to eye with Jurgen Klopp towards the end of Klopp's reign.
Knocked up by Veltman. Brighton are not done for here. But they've got to score the next goal, then they've got to find another. In a way, they've got to do to Liverpool what Wolves did to them. We won't leave it quite that late. I think Darwin Núñez is preparing to come on as well for Liverpool.
He's looking across. I think he knows he's coming off. He wasn't too pleased either, was he, there?
He's on a hat-trick. Second time. Scored twice against West Ham. He's enjoying himself here, but what a contribution, Stuart, in this second half, particularly from Gakpo.
Well, that completely changed the game, didn't it? Just after half-time, full-back out of position. Comes inside, the second one. Full-back again out of position because he'd won the ball off of him. Races forward and a very good finish.
And here he is, a happy Mo Salah. Just what you want when you're a Brighton fan or player. 20 minutes to go. You bring these two on. Szoboszlai makes way for Núñez. And here the Liverpool fans already starting with the Mo Salah songs. Robertson delivers the free kick. Here goes Enciso. Brighton are not out of this yet. Adingra. Beautifully done against Bradley. Still going here. Adingra floats it deep. Great defending, Robertson.
Well, he looks a good player, doesn't he, Adingra, when he's running with the ball. Skips past Bradley so easily here. A couple of little step-overs. I thought he might go for goal himself and just hit it across the goalkeeper, but he just floats it up. And Robertson, round the back, put himself into a good position and just did enough to take it away from Ferguson. Diaz has gone out to the left-hand side where Gakpo was playing.
Here's Enciso. They've won a free kick and Enciso will fancy this. And once again, Curtis Jones makes his point to Darren Bond.
Oh, difficult to see from that replay. I think he does stick his leg out, Curtis Jones. Hinchelwood, the player that was brought down, his first bit of action.
Now this is a chance. I think he's taking this. Just shook his head. He fancies it, and you can see why. Gruder to one side. Jones is the worm. Enciso to miscue it straight into the wall.
Actually, set plays have been poor, haven't they? A couple of free kicks into the box. That one there, bad as it could possibly be, really, hitting halfway up the wall.
Always looks worse when you've waved everyone else away. There's Núñez. Adingra. Giving Bradley a real test, isn't he?
Well, He's got a corner out. Has he? No, he's just given the ball back.
And the crowd wanted the corner. Referee gave the goal kick. That Jarosz save looms large as a massive moment in the game at 0-1, just after the Gakpo, the first goal, to deny Adingra. Little turning points in matches like this. Gakpo will get all of the headlines, but Jarosz deserves at least a subheading. Here's Inyoni. Played through again, and curved just wide. But he is a player, isn't he? Trey Inyoni made his senior debut against Southampton in the FA Cup last season and continues that journey here against Brighton. It's a long way away, but there's a lot to like about him. Not least the confidence.
Well, here comes this, what I would say is their star man when he's playing well, Mitoma, for Brighton.
Ruder's race his run, and Sisso's too. Mitoma and Welbeck, the two biggest cards really that Huertzler can play.
And you have to admire Danny Welbeck. It's been a great comeback, hasn't it, at Brighton? Looks like his career was going nowhere. He's had so many injuries. Didn't really play that much at Arsenal.
Liverpool looking for a third. Every defender seemed to miss it. Liverpool want the penalty. They thought there was a shove. One thing I would say is that Darren Bond had a good view of that. No help for him tonight. Now Mitoma at the other end. Can he turn that into a massive moment? Well, he's won a corner.
Well, he's a real live wire, Mitoma. Here's the penalty shout at the other end. Well, it's a little bit reckless, you would say, from Veltman. Certainly wasn't running on the angle of the ball.
Did feel like the moment, though, he felt the two hands on Diaz was already looking to go, and that might be what Darren Bond saw. It's headed back across from where it came, but easily taken by Jarosz. It certainly falls into the you've seen them given category, though. I don't think it's one of those that would have been overturned on VAR. That's, I think, what you've always got to ask yourself. Had it been given, though, I think it would have stayed. Is that all fair, Stuart?
I think that's absolutely right. He certainly obstructed Diaz, didn't he?
Great touch from Inyoni, but it was a risky one. Here goes Estupiñán. Mitoma right into the game straight away as he stumbles. Goal kick.
Well, you said that Bradley was tested by Adingra. He's going to be tested by Mitoma now. No foul.
One of so many gifted Japanese creative players all around Europe. What kind of a run can they have at the next World Cup? I wouldn't be surprised if they go close and building towards it. Wouldn't that be a thing?
I remember years ago you and I doing a few J-League matches.
Here's Mitoma. Breaks kindly for Ferguson. Now Adingra switching to that right-hand side. Mitoma. Estupiñán deep. Adingra with another good contact, but it's a comfortable save for Jarosz.
Yeah, I'm not sure he was going for goal. Thought it had a lot of spin on it. I think as he was heading it back down to the likes of Ferguson in the 6-yard box, just got it slightly wrong, but he's certainly going to have a big 12 minutes, I think, plus any added on time. Mitoma, such a key player for Brighton when he's playing well.
Just kept in play by Diaz. McAllister goes over. Over 100 appearances for Brighton. It's interesting, you were asking what kind of reception he'd get, and it seemed quite non-committal to me.
It did, didn't it? He had that great relationship with Caicedo in a very good season for Brighton under De Zerbi. Got to the semi-final of the FA Cup. Lost to Manchester United.
This would be 12 wins from 14 under Arne Slot. Almost immaculate start. Giving it away here though, and it opens up. Again Jarosz with a good save, but it's prodded home by Simon Adingra. And Brighton are right back in this.
Dear,
setting up the grandstand finish.
Dear, oh dear. What an error by that man there. Kwanzaa. Ball comes out to him. Starts to go back in field, then plays the ball back. Plays it straight to Ferguson. First shot. I think the goalkeeper should do a lot better. But that is onto it very quickly. Adingra, that's a good finish as well. He's got to get his foot high, he's got to keep it down. Uses his studs in the end. It's a great finish.
Really well improvised finish. I always say that about Brazilian players, that they learn when they're young to finish with every single part of their body and in every single way, and Adingra adjusted well, really unorthodox finish. It was necessary. If Jarosz had challenged for it, flung himself forward and been braver, he might have got a free kick there with the studs showing, but it's all happening so quickly.
He probably should have done better with the first shot when it came in. Let it get that far away from his body into a dangerous area. But you said it on 2 or 3 occasions, Brighton are still in this, and they certainly are now. They've got that bit of momentum now, particularly with this player coming on.
Yeah, he's changed it. What about that for an arm wrestle? Bradley and Estupinian. Here's Mitoma. Takes up such good positions.
The substitutes for Liverpool haven't really got involved so far, have they? Nunez and Salah, players we talked about coming on, and sort of players you wouldn't want to see if you're Brighton when you're 2-0 down.
Yeah, they felt like almost luxury changes at the time, but now they might have an important role to play. All that Hertzler and Brighton will want is to create at least one more chance here, and for it to fall to the right player. Adingra took his chance really well. Three second-half goals here. It's a 2-2 draw here at Brighton-Liverpool last season. That's what Brighton are dreaming of right now. And take us to penalties. Referee plays a good advantage there. He only wanted the free kick. Salah. Well, for Jones, he gets a second chance, deflected, great save still. Then he slips over on his line, but he stuck out a right hand there and kept Brighton in the tie. Still pressure though from Liverpool, and it's there. Luis Diaz surely sends them to the quarter-final. Steele made one really good save, but beaten for the second time at his near post. Liverpool respond to conceding, and surely now Liverpool have done enough.
Now this one I can understand how he's beaten at the near post, because Diaz is starting to come across the field. And there's the first effort that was deflected. He makes a good save there, then as you said, slips over. But Diaz, as he starts to come across the field, you think he might be bending it into the far corner, but he hits it maybe between the legs of one of the Brighton defenders. And then Steele was beaten at his near post. There's the slip. Does really well to keep hold of it here, Diaz. Drops his shoulder, yet it goes between the legs of Veltman. Goalkeeper would have been unsighted. And everybody in the ground probably thought it was going to that far corner, and then he bends it in or places it in off the near post. Very good finish from Diaz.
Just perfection, isn't it? Well, maybe it's not done. Final 5 minutes, here comes Mitoma. Mitoma to charge. It's closed down excellently there.
Well, he had the beating of Bradley. Goes past him a bit too easily here. Bradley's trying to get back, then realises he doesn't want to make a tackle. And Quansah, realising that Mitoma's going to go onto his left foot and try and get his shot away, gets a very good block in.
That mistake will still be weighing very heavily on Jarell Quansah. It's tempting to say aside from that, he's had a really good game, but unfortunately there is no aside from that. That will be remembered. Here's Veltman. Stupinian on the volley with the cross. Now Mitoma. They have to keep believing. That time Welbeck was the target. Lamptey is surely nudged over. Brighton have 3 minutes, but they have a free kick. And somehow they need to score twice.
Well, when you see Lamptey breaking forward with the ball and getting crosses in and doing all the attacking side of the game, you can understand, you see his qualities, and you think, why does he not play in the team every week? But you see he's had his defensive problems at the other end, and that's probably just keeping him out of the side on a regular basis, Lamptey.
Hooked in by Lamptey. Been a good game, really good second half. Had a little bit of everything. Gakpo's contribution. And Adingra finding slightly surprising goal that Brighton pulled back. Fabulous save from Yarosh. And Diaz feeling at least like he's just sealed it for Liverpool. Good look as well at that young man and Yoni.
Well, Salah trying to make the run round the back. Almost a very good ball to him. Hasn't had that many touches, has he, Mo Salah, since he's been on? But what a good job, Arne Slot, is doing. As you said earlier on in the commentary, it seemed like a very difficult job taking over from such a brilliant manager in Jurgen Klopp. The fans loved him, the players in the main loved him, but he's really done well.
Nearly reached the end of his 14th game, and this version of Liverpool conceded just 8 times in nearly 14. If they keep it under 10, they're going through here. Here's Mitoma. It's half a chance here, it's deflected and in! Lamptey! Brighton still have hope! The journey to the quarter-finals continues to be a rocky one for Liverpool. What a conclusion we're going to have now.
Well, here it is. First touch is good. He doesn't hit it with too much power. Gomez closes the ball down, so does Quansah. Diaz gave up on it there as he was closing down, and it comes off the centre-half's heel, back across to the other side of the goal. He's a bit unlucky, of course he is. But now, added on time, this is going to be very, very exciting here.
And it would have to be Quansah, wouldn't it? After the season he's had, the night he's had. He's bringing Konate on. Still waiting to see how many minutes are going to be added here. Feels cruel if it's going to be Konate for Quansah, but I suspect it is.
Or just another defender, it may be. There's so little time left, but I'm never sure it's the right thing to do. A defender comes on, he's not up to the pace of the game, he hasn't had much of a warm-up, he's going to have to play in the most intense 5 minutes.
Feel for him a bit, especially given that the last moment, it's not an own goal, Lamptey's shot was on target, and it is unfortunate. Anyway, Konate on. 5 added minutes, we're already into the second of them. Can Brighton conjure one final chance? Wouldn't that be something? Second half, they haven't really been in. They're still within a goal. Liverpool looked in total control at 2-0. And then Welbeck, half a turn. Did Konate foul him? He did. Goes back to your point about not necessarily being up with the pace of the game.
Well, Welbeck got the wrong side of him. Now, Welbeck is holding the shirt of Konate. It should be a free kick the other way. But the referee can't see that because he's got the two players. You can only see the backs of the two players, but it's Danny Welbeck that was holding the shirt of Konate. It's been unlucky there, the substitute.
Now it's floated in. Liverpool just about hook it clear. There was half a claim for a penalty. It was well done by Diaz to win that throw for Liverpool. Helps them run down the clock that little bit more.
Well, that save that he made, be a winning save. He certainly started it off, didn't he, with those 2 goals. Brilliant from Gakpo.
And Nunez, more importantly, they have the ball now. It's not going to go to the corner. Too much pride for that. Liverpool don't do that at Brighton. Maybe should have done.
Good defending from Igor. Had the pace to match Nunez and then the strength to beat him.
I mean, it's not as if there's any history of Liverpool not going to the corner flag and giving the ball away and something happening, but we won't go there right now. Very different surroundings, very different era.
This is where the fans sometimes get frustrated. They want the ball played forward quickly.
It's played forward quickly now, and it's where it's going to end up. Flags up. That was the one thing they couldn't do.
And it's Mitoma that just made his run a fraction too early.
Final minute of the added 5. Can they craft anything? Second game in a row that Liverpool have conceded twice.
That's not a good kick from Jarosz, because it just means the ball's going to come straight back at him.
And here it comes. Shove in the back there from Konate on Welbeck. Brighton might just get one final chance, at least to get it forward. And that's where it has to go quickly. Igor. It's a bit aimless, that, from Igor. Miscue clearance again from Jarosz. It was goalless at half-time, but the second half truly caught fire. 2 from Gakpo, putting Liverpool seemingly in control. Then Adingra